Welcome to another episode of Mighty Car Mods. I'm excited.
I'm excited too. Why are we excited?
We're excited because today we're celebrating 100,000 downloads of Mighty Car Mods. And the other good news is now you can get every single Mighty Car Mods episode we've ever done from the iTunes store absolutely free.
Free? How much is that?
Free! So, last episode we promised you something very, very special, something super special in fact, and here it is, the March Super Turbo. Woo!
This is a 1989 Nissan March Super Turbo. It's an earlier version of the popular K11 Micra that we got in Australia. It features an all-alloy 930cc engine that is supercharged and turbocharged, and up until recently was the only production car around with this setup. The supercharger operates from near on idle, and once the turbo is spooled up, a valve bypasses the supercharger, sending 14 psi through the intercooler and to the engine. The result is power of around 80 kilowatts channeled through a limited slip diff to the front wheels. 80 kilowatts in an 800 odd kilo shell equals an impressive power to weight ratio, making this hatchback incredibly quick. 0 to 100 is quoted in the mid 7 seconds from the factory. The car uses hardly any fuel, but when you put your foot down, you still get a great turbo slam in the seat.
We've never driven one of these cars before, so we took it down to the local dyno to check that everything was working as it should. The car was down on power, and that left me feeling a little bit... So it's time to go back home and figure out what's going on under the bonnet and, well, how to open the bonnet. And start doing something that every turbo car owner is familiar with. Start feeding it money. Somewhere in here lay our problem. Luckily, we had this relatively useless diagram, but it looked pretty. As did this one. And if all else failed, we had this one that we couldn't even read because it was in Japanese. But luckily, when our friend Tucker isn't impersonating a bear, he does some translating. Because these cars are so rare in convict-ridden Australia, we sought advice from the motherland in the form of the UK Micro Forum. They pointed us in the right direction and sent some parts down under. In the meantime, we skinned our knuckles replacing every single vacuum line with brand new heavy-duty silicon and installed a quality boost gauge. The little supercharger was making lots of noise, but not much boost, and the car was laggy. With everything sorted out, we had full boost right through the revs. The engine now sounded great, but the rattle sure didn't, so it was time to strip the car, tighten and reseal everything. Now you can't buy suspension for these in Australia, but we got some shocks from a Starlet and a Micra and modified them to fit. Next up, some massive vented brakes from a Pulsar. Then we replaced the gear knob, and the stereo, well, it didn't come with one, so we fixed that too. In true Mighty Mod style, we weren't going to rest until the car was restored to its former glory. So we took photos of all the damaged stickers, recreated them in Photoshop, and sent them off to be professionally printed.
Alright, so there it is. I mean, it's pretty amazing that for about a quarter of the price of a 180SX, you can get something so fast. It's unbelievable.
And it's seriously fun to drive. We'll see you next time.
Little did we know, a bunch of Mighty Mods fans that have been there from the start put on a party to celebrate 100,000 downloads.